Hi, this is John from Chicago, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do what Nick Burns did on his channel. I thought it was a great idea, and I happen to have two extra Mobula 6s. I ordered four of them total, two of the 19K and two of the 25K, just so I'd get them, so I have two extra ones. No, I'm not going to give them away. I like them too much. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert the 65 millimeter frame. I'm going to put a 75 millimeter frame on there. Just take the components and move them over. The motors, the flight control board, the camera, and the canopy. Just move those over. So the original Mobula 6 weighs 19.8 grams. Here's a spare frame. The frame weighs 3.3 grams, and the props, the gem fan props, weigh a gram. So, let's see. Let me see what the new frame. New frame is going to weigh a little bit more at 4.3 grams. And the props, I have a choice of three different props that I have that would fit this, 40 millimeter props. I have the King Kong, the three-bladed ones in pink. Those are my lightest. I have the red Happy Model props from a Mobula 7. Those are the heaviest. And then I have the Gem Fan four-bladed props, which are the middle ones. But I think I'm going to use the pink ones. So let's see what the pink props weigh here. Three-bladed ones from my King Kong. They weigh 1.7 grams for the four of them. So that's a increase in weight of 0.7 of a gram over the original 60, the props on the original. Let's see what the Happy Model props weigh. They come in at 3.5 grams for four. And then the Gem Fan, these things are pretty. But the four-bladed are a little heavier at 2.3 grams for four. So, I'm going to do the conversion using these pink props, and that will add 1.9 grams to the weight. So I should end up with a build dry weight of 21.7 grams versus the 19.8. That's a very lightweight 75 millimeter 1S whoop, tiny whoop. So let me do that conversion. It should take just a few minutes. It's no soldering. It's just plug and play motors. Just move the things over. So hopefully a couple minutes later I'll join you with the finished product here. I took the four motors off, and they weigh 7.5 grams for four of them. Okay, I'm getting there. I got the new the canopy switched over. They have on the new canopy, let's see, where is one? There's another one of these, the version 2 frame. These little nubs stick up a lot further than what they do on the original 65 frame. So on the 75 they stick up. I don't know if that's going to be a problem or not. I went ahead and put it on. The board will slide up and down. I don't know if I need to put some spacers on it. But the screws took a long time to put in. It's only 12 of them here, but they're very small. I lost one, but I had a spare, so I'm okay there. Got the canopy screws in. Those weren't much of a problem. Took the antenna, bent that through the same hole that it was going for before, and have this foam in there to try to stabilize the camera. One of the problems I'm running into, which I'm hoping I could slide this in there, is there's an extra, the canopy on the original has a lot of room to make these plugs go in. On the revised one here, there's an extra member going this way, and I got three of the plugs in no problem, but the fourth one, it's underneath the battery. The battery tray is a little bit wider, so it's underneath there. So I'm going to see if I could push the board out and try to fiddle this connector in. So that's the problem area that I'm dealing with right now. It's to get that plug in. Once I get that, I should be good. Okay, good news for me. I got this last plug, motor plug in, even though it's underneath that. I was able to take some tweezers and twist it in there and get it up and push down on it. So it looks like it's all in there. So I could plug this in theoretically and see if the motors will spin. Yeah, why don't I do that? Stick a battery. Hope I don't get smoke. I don't know if my smoke stopper would work on something this small. They're all spinning. Motor's going the right way. I think this is going to work. Perhaps spin out, so this is out. Okay. One motor on, one prop on. Prop goes out. They go on difficult, but they go on, and that's, if they go on difficult, that means they're going to come off difficult, so that's good. They might stay on. Be careful not to bend the shaft. Pushing these on. Okay. Last one. Okay, just so it doesn't move around. Turn it on its angle. Okay. Take it off from here, but looks like it works. Okay. 21.6 grams. Wow. For a 75 millimeter whoop. 93 grams of thrust. This is an increase from 74 grams of thrust of the original Mobula 6 19K model. Now I'm doing a indoor track, and I had 18 various whoops, and they varied in time from 10 seconds to 14 seconds on this track. And this Mobula 7 was tied for the fastest at 10 seconds per lap. It's an average of 3 consecutive laps. Then when I go to an outdoor track, I had 22 models that I flown on that, and they varied in time from 10 seconds to 21 seconds for the average lap time for 3 consecutive laps. And the Mobula 6 19K model averaged very fast at 11 seconds per lap for 3 consecutive laps, where this one came out at 13 seconds per lap. It's about 2 seconds slower, but I think a lot of that had to do with there's a strong wind today, and I only flew it today so I think if the wind was down, it would be pretty close to that 11 seconds, probably 12. I think it might be a little bit slower because there's more air resistance on this frame because it's bigger. So let's go to the summary. Now for my conclusion. I think converting the Mobula 6 to a Mobula 7 frame, going from 65 millimeters to 75 millimeters, is worthwhile, especially if you have an extra Mobula 6, which I did, the 19K model. For the frame itself is less than $5. What it is, it will increase your thrust from 74 grams up to 93 grams of thrust. It increases your flight times from around 3 minutes to around 4 minutes, depending on how you're on the throttle. And as far as speed goes, they were the same speed indoors, but when I was on the outdoor track, I lost my speed, went from 11-second lap times to 13 seconds, but today there was a strong 15 to 20 mile an hour wind, and I think the wind was most of it. It feels like it should be about the same speed. So for buying an extra frame, it takes about a half hour to switch it over. I definitely recommend that you go ahead and give that a try. This is John from Chicago. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those below, and don't forget to hit the like button. Thanks again.